You're listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers.
Presented by CMH Heli Skiing and Peak Performance.
The Low Pressure Podcast is sponsored by CMH Heli Skiing, where you can choose from 11 unique locations and experiences, including 4, 5, 6, and 7-day signature trips, the brand new single-day trips. You can do small groups with just you, 4 friends, and a guide, or the private and exclusive, where you get the whole place just to yourself. So find your next adventure at cmhheli.com. The Low Pressure Podcast is also sponsored by Peak Performance. There are many ways to make it down a mountain, but the best line is your line. And the adventure is there, so make it yours. Visit peakperformance.com and get the gear to unlock your free ride spirit. No?
I like that.
All right. Cheers, Tonje.
Cheers.
Can you please speak in a thick Norwegian accent for this whole podcast?
The whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can talk Norwegian English, no problem.
Oh my goodness. I actually don't know if I've ever heard you even speak in Norwegian English before. This is great.
It's a very, it sounds like I'm singing. Like if you do it properly, Norwegian in general sounds like you're singing, so.
Because it goes up and down,
Yes,
like
very much like that.
Kind of like Swedish chef kind of thing,
Yeah.
but like Norwegian chef.
Yeah.
If there was like an occupation that isn't like Swedish chef, would it be Norwegian what? Would it be like, I don't know, Norwegian
I don't know.
Teacher?
Yeah, that could probably work.
Norwegian professor?
Yeah, that would be sick.
Because do you have a good Norwegian professor impression?
I'm so bad with impressions.
I'm only asking you this because I know you were in school right now.
Yeah.
and I kind of want to get you in trouble maybe with one of your professors.
No, I love them.
That's what you say because you're on camera.
Yeah. One of them is actually super into skiing. So.
Oh, is he? So
Yeah.
Are you getting that little extra bump on your?
Yeah, for sure. I'm just bribing him with atomic Ben Shetler skis.
Oh my God! I was gonna say just because he's got like a pro skier, like a famous pro skier in his class, and maybe he's giving you like an extra 5%. But you're actually like, hey, this 6,000 word essay only has 5,000 words. Here's a pair of Ben Shetlers.
Here's a pair of Bens. I didn't have time. I'm so sorry.
Oh my goodness, that's too funny. Well, let's talk about that. So the reason that you're here is that I talked to you and Emily and Janelle. And I've been telling you this for years. Like we had you on the show, I don't know how many years ago, 4 years ago?
It's a while ago.
3 or 4 years ago, all at the same time. And then, except for Janelle was on computer.
Oh my God, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, did we have her mic'd up on the computer or was it just you two?
No, she was talking.
Right. That's right. I think she was like, do you remember Max Headroom? Did you ever know who that guy was in like the 80s, late 80s?
No.
It was like this character that was just a animated head
Oh,
on the TV screen.
that was Janelle.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was. So
Yeah, that was funny. I remember we all drank a little too many fat tires, and the questions and answers, or the answers that we gave, they weren't. We didn't elaborate very much. I feel like this was just a bunch of laughing and good times.
That's kind of what you guys are, though.
Yeah.
Like when people, if someone said describe the blondes, I'm gonna say laughing and good times.
Yeah, it's true.
That,
goes well with our image.
Just a touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You guys have curated it well.
Yeah.
So what basically what I was saying is we had you on before, but you all are fascinating people, and you all deserve your own episode. Because you had your film, which came out this year, which was called.
How did we get here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I want to know, but that was only like a quick 20-minute, quick 20-minute like flash into the lives of you three. So I want to dive deep. I want to get down into the soul. I want to find out who you are as a person, and where you came from.
Okay, let's go.
Let's peel back the layers.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, so why don't we start from the start, and we'll get to the school thing. In a bit. So you're from Norway.
I'm from Norway. Yeah.
And so tell me about it. Did you like grow up near the mountains? Were you growing up like in a city? Like what was that all about?
No, I grew kind of up in like, I would say like the California of Norway. It's like we got the beaches. People love their boats. It's like a summer place where people go on summer vacation.
What's it called?
Kristiansand.
Pardon me?
Kristiansand. It's in the south of Norway. Yeah.
Right.
And it's not like there's not a whole lot of mountains there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was more like a football and kind of handball town.
Handball?
Yeah.
That's something you don't really ever see here.
No, and that was big thing over there. Like all the girls played handball. But my mom was like, you're not doing that because it was always on the weekends and we have to go to the cabin. So I was just a weird girl that was not allowed to play handball.
Kind of worked out though.
It did
guess,
work
right?
out. Yeah, I'm really happy about that.
So really
now.
like a beach town? Like is it on the south coast or
Yeah.
on like the west coast?
Yeah,
or?
south coast. It's like almost as far down in as you can go south in Norway.
And do people consider that like the warm part of Norway?
Yeah.
Is there one?
Yeah, it is. With the Gulf Stream?
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty warm.
So is it kind of like Vancouver where they'll get like, you know, Canada is cold, right? And there's snow everywhere. And then Vancouver in the wintertime hovers around like 10 degrees.
I would say it's pretty similar, yeah,
Really?
to Vancouver.
Really? In like temperature and stuff too? Or in the difference to the rest of Norway?
In temperatures.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's pretty similar.
Hmm.
Except for this year, we had like so much snow there. It was insane.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you spent some time there this year. You're in Norway this year, but we'll
Yeah.
get to that.
Yeah.
So grew up in Norway, and then so you just go skiing on the weekends. Like, was your cabin like in the mountains?
Yeah, I was in the mountains.
And where were you skiing?
Brokke Alpine Center. It's really small.
Mm-hmm.
Like people in Norway don't even know where it is.
Really?
Kind of thing.
Like how many lifts? like
When I was there, it was like we had a T-bar and a Palma.
Right.
That was it.
That's it.
Yeah. But now there's like a chairlift going in there too.
So is it like a small vertical too? Like you get down to the bottom in like 10 seconds kind of thing? Or
It was, you could, maybe 25. But yeah, no, it's not very big. It's like super family friendly.
yeah.
They had like a little terrain park, which was super fun.
Yeah.
It's like the jumps were kind of just little knuckles. And the rails were super rusty, so you would catch an edge a lot.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
See, do you want to come up?
Do you want to hang out?
Oh, do you want to come up here over here? Over here, bud. I'm going to have to edit this. You're causing problems. Come on over here. All right. Come on up. Let's go. Watch your foot. She'll sneak in.
He's just going to come in.
Cedar, let's go. Come on. Up. Up, up. Come on. Let's go. Up.
Don't edit this out. This is
Come on.
great. Nice work, Cedar.
All right.
Chilling.
Yeah, you stay there now for the hour, please.
Yeah, the edge part. Yeah, I would catch my edge all the time. Like everyone was catching their edge.
Why didn't you just like grind your edge down, or did you know? Like, were you a park kid?
No, it was just my brother and my cousin. They were super into the park, so I was just kind of following them around.
Yeah.
Like my edges were fine. The rails were super rusty.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Or my edges were definitely not sharp.
So you just spent a lot of time skiing in the park then?
Just like ripping around. I would just like follow them around wherever they went.
Right, and trying to figure out like what you can do.
Yeah, just kind of.
Something to do because you're skiing and this is the best part of the hill because
Yeah.
it's the most fun because the rest of it is a small mountain and it's kind of boring kind of thing. Or
But like we had some good powder days, and my family would always be like the first ones in the lift, just like lined up, waiting for the lift to open. But it's not Whistler. It was seriously just my family in the front of the line. Like we did not have to get up early, but we're just like waiting, just so excited. It was not like a kilometer lineup.
Really? There's literally like 5 people there. It's all from the Kviviks.
5 people. It was all Kviviks, and we're just frothing.
You're like, we gotta get there before my brother does.
Yeah, no, but it was super fun. I'm very lucky. I just have the best family ever, and everyone's super excited to ski. So
Really?
yeah.
Who do you got in the family? Mom, dad, brother, sisters?
Mom, brother.
Are you sure?
Yes, and then mom and brother, stepdad. We had like all my uncles and uncles and aunts and cousins. They all had the cabin at the same spot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
it was,
full on family
yeah,
affair.
and like third cousins, like everyone.
So when you're getting in line, you're like, we gotta get there before Uncle Jim. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, fully. Yeah. Actually, one of my uncles is Jon, and he was actually the really keen one. So Had to beat him.
So just growing up skiing there, that kind of developed your love of skiing. Like when did you decide like this is what I want to do? I want to move to Canada, because you moved to Canada like what 2017, 2016
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
So you just went to school, graduated, did the regular, growing up as a kid, going skiing on the weekends kind of thing,
Yeah.
and then was like, I want to ski more. Is that kind of how it worked out?
Yeah, pretty much. Or I because I actually learned to ski in the Alps.
Really?
Yeah, I was like living there from when I was like 1 till 3.
Oh,
Or
okay.
0 till 3.
Were your
so-
parents living there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you grew up. Were you born there?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not actually Norwegian.
I
Oh, this is great.
Wait,
We're digging in deep here. You grew up in the Alps?
yeah.
Were you born in in Europe?
Yeah.
Like not. Oh goodness.
Yeah.
But you're Norwegian now.
I am Norwegian. My mom's Norwegian. My whole family's Norwegian.
Oh right.
Yeah.
But you were born in the. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I think I just like I kind of knew that there was bigger mountains out there.
Because you had
Not
been there.
Not just the 25
And it's-
second hill.
And it's not like one of those things, because when you're a little kid, because you're a little kid skiing in the Alps, right?
Yeah.
When you're a little kid and like you're in the grocery store, or you're in, say, like a specific building,
Yeah.
say like a daycare or like a school or something.
Yeah.
And then you go back when you're like a grown human and you're like, wow, this place is it was way bigger in my memory.
True. Probably a little bit like that too.
Right? So, but in
Yeah.
your memory, like, oh, this is bigger, but then you get there and it still is actually bigger because it's the Alps. And you're
Yeah.
like, wow, this
Yeah,
is-
fully. Yeah.
But you probably weren't doing like a Guida Badi or anything like that, or like the Mer de Glace when you were like 3 years old.
No. But I was in ski school and like in like little children competitions and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very, very cool. So when you got through school and you graduated, were you like, I'm going skiing?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Why? And then just straight to Canada, or did you take a gap year?
No, so I was actually I wanted to go to Canada straight away. But something happened with my visa, so I just like switched up my plans and I went to France in Serre-Chevalier. And I was an au pair there for like 7 months.
For real?
Yeah, and I was like trying to learn how to speak French and just kind of like, yeah, meeting new people there.
How's your French now?
Not great. So I need to go back and practice it again.
Did you like that job?
It was really cool because like the girl that I was looking after, she didn't speak any English.
No.
So it really forced me to like learn how to communicate in French.
How old was the kid?
She was 5.
Okay, so how much Norwegian did the kid end up learning?
Nothing.
Or English?
Nothing. No, she is really just like wanting to teach me French.
Because I always thought like if I ever got into a position where I had kids and I had money for like an au pair or like a nanny or something, I'm going 100% different language.
Yeah.
Because I want my kid to learn that other language.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, it's kind of like a hack. Like you're not only like paying to have
Boy.
childcare
Yeah.
and giving this person a job, but it's like you're getting that extra bonus of like language school.
Yeah.
Be like, all right, I want you to speak in your native language to my kid the whole time. They're
Yeah.
like, what? I'm like, yeah, no, it'll be fine.
No, it's cool because you're pretty much like getting a language for free.
Right.
If
So
you
you're,
do
so
like
your
that.
nanny for like what kind of family was it?
It was this guy who's he's like a guide
Mm-hmm.
in the Alps. Yeah, so like your classic French family.
Oh,
Like
for real?
both of the kids are in like crazy ski school, just like super disciplined. Like
Yeah.
they want to be like slalom skiers and just freaking take over. And
Right.
the dad's a guide and the mom was like training horses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it was really cool. I didn't know anyone there, and it was
Mhm.
just kind of a last minute decision.
Right.
But I was just kind of
How'd you end up getting that job?
So I have some family in France too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then and they met him through like a whitewater kayaking course because he guides whitewater.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of just like fell into my lap.
That's wild, hey?
Yeah, so I went there. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was a really bad season.
Right.
Yeah,
And you gotta give his wife some credit too, because like you're hiring, how old were you at the time? 18, 19?
yeah, I was 18.
An 18-year-old blonde, blue-eyed Norwegian girl to come in as an au pair. The wife's got to be pretty like stable in her relationship. Pretty.
Oh yeah,
confident.
they're super stable, and she's such a badass. She's just like,
Because I have
no
some
bullshit.
I have some friends that if they ended up getting a nanny or something like that, it 100% wouldn't look like you. don't know if this says more about them or the wife or whatever, but that's too funny. So then you're in Europe for what, like just a season?
Yeah.
And then back to Norway for a bit, or?
Yeah, or like the thing was, I like the season was really bad there.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this thing where every day I would go out, I was like, I'm going to meet a new person today and just talk to random people. And then one day I was in the ski lift and I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to this person. And somehow we ended up talking about Canada. And he was like, yeah, like this is a bad season, but like a bad season in Canada is a really good season here.
Right.
And I was like, damn it, like I still really want to go to Canada.
Right.
And after that, I went home that night to my little apartment and I applied for another visa and it came through.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then after that, I went back to Norway. I worked my ass off just trying to save up money and then I went over to Canada.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is the next stage in your evolution of the evolution of Tonje. So So I think on the film, you were like, yeah, I decided to go to Revelstoke, but I didn't know anything about Revelstoke. Why did you choose Revy?
Same thing. Like everything just kind of falls into place in like a weird way if you just let it. But
right, just kind of going with the flow.
Yeah,
you know what
very
I mean? Like
much going with the flow.
Just seeing what grabs your attention and then kind of giving attention, and then seeing what jumps out at you and then giving the attention to that to see where it'll take you, kind of thing.
Pretty much, that was kind of what I was doing. And like my stepbrother, he'd been skiing. He was like up at Micah a couple trips, like here and there, and he just like, I think he mentioned Revelstoke once. He's like, you should go there.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was just like, all right, okay, I'm gonna go there.
Seriously, I did that. I was like, okay, sure.
And then did you do like a bunch of research?
Nothing. I didn't even Google Revelstoke. I was so shocked when I came there in the bus from Edmonton. I booked the flight into Edmonton.
You flew to
for some reason.
You flew to Edmonton?
Yeah.
Instead of Calgary or Kelowna? Or...
I had never been over in this area. I was
that's what happens when you don't Google anything. You had like a 10-hour bus ride.
Oh man, it was intense. It was like one of those Greyhound buses with my ski bag and everything. But yeah, I came there. I was like, oh, this is what the place looks like? This is not at all what I was expecting. Perfect.
What were you expecting?
I didn't have an expectation.
I love how you just fly into Edmonton. And like, I know you mentioned, so we had Emil on Grandbom the other day.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how you thought it was funny because he's talking about everything is like 5x here. And like, I had to like elaborate like in size, like everything's bigger. Were you sitting on that bus being like, holy crap, like how far am I going?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it was just like, yeah, passing through all these towns. I didn't know about the time change or anything. So it's just like, I thought Golden was Revelstoke.
Oh, so you get into Golden and then you're like, no.
Like, this is it?
Did the bus stop there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's not. It's not it. Just wait.
You're like, I'm so close.
I'm so close.
Did you have a place to stay or did you just roll up and be like, all right,
this was also interesting because I found the place on Facebook Marketplace, Facebook, like a Facebook group, Revy Rentals.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, I'm gonna live with these two guys. Seems like a decent house. They got a nice room and rent was cheap.
Yeah.
I like roll up, like trying to find this house for my dear life. I'm like, where is this house that I'm going to live in? And this girl that saw that I was super lost picked me up. So she was helping me out. And then after probably like 45 minutes of looking, she's like, I think you're in here. I'm like, what? What is this? The trailer park. And it was not a nice trailer park. It was like a run down trailer park. It was like the end trailer at the very back where there was no lights. There was like a mattress on the floor. The cupboards of like the kitchen was like ripped off.
Really?
And like the first week, like the mice kept eating my food. So yeah, I was like, this is not Norway. Where am I? But I was actually, I took the challenge. I was like, this is good for me.
How long did you stay there for?
Until the water froze and we didn't have water for like 3 weeks in the middle of the winter. So like February. Yeah.
See what you moved in like October, November kind of thing?
I moved in September.
So
I lasted a while.
Like 4 months in the trailer park.
Yeah.
Is there more than one trailer park in Revy?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know Katie Burrell lives in one of the trailer parks.
She probably lives in a really nice one.
In the nice one, yeah.
That was not. This is like people talk about this trailer.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. And you're living in the back. And were the roommates good? Were the dudes all right?
They were good. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were just like, didn't really see them very often.
No, they're not listening.
No, yeah. No, they were really good. But yeah, I really didn't see them. They were like working.
And then so you're like, all right, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, like the water froze for like 3 weeks. Like it was a cold snap.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I should find somewhere else.
Because I'm sure by then you've met enough people. Because if you're like still that kind of person where you're like, I'm going to go meet someone new every day.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, I actually had met some more people. And that's how I met Janelle, because I moved into that house where she was living.
Oh, is that how?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I was going to ask that next.
Yeah.
So tell me about that then. So you move out of the frozen pipe trailer park shack. And then you just had a room in a shared house kind of thing?
Yeah, and it was this really great house, and like all the people that I lived with there like ended up being like really close friends. Like we're all super good friends now. Mm-hmm. And it was just on 2nd Street. Nice house.
It's one of those.
It was a party house.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't like shocking.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely crazy.
Isn't that great though? Like your first like house or first couple spots, like I know like the first couple places I lived in town here, my first house was actually right across the street from where I live now, and it was awesome. I have so many great memories of like, because it was like a staff house, so it was staff housing, but it wasn't in like the ghetto buildings up on the mountain.
Yeah. And
there's like 16 people living in that house at one time, but I think 7 or 8 were core, and other people would like come and go.
Yeah.
So just getting to know them and like, oh, I'm in a new country, I'm in a new town, everything's fresh, everything's new. You're always like looking to meet people and like hang out. And then the house after that, same sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then when you're in a place for a while, I find you just kind of stop being as open.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right? Because you're in your own little bubble. You've like found your groove.
Yeah.
This is how it works for me now. And you're like, all right, I like this. I don't need to go and be as open. And I think maybe I got a little jaded too, because like those first couple of years, you meet all these great people.
Yeah.
And then a huge number of them end up leaving.
Yeah.
And you're heartbroken. And then, all right, well, next season, okay, look at all these great people that I'm meeting at work and at skiing and like partying. And like, these guys are the best. This is awesome. Like all housemates. And then a huge percentage of them end up leaving, and you're heartbroken. And then after 2 or 3 years of doing that, you're like, I don't know I want to do this anymore. And you meet someone, they're like, oh, hey, mate. And you're like, oh, hey.
I'm hurt. My friends have been leaving.
Yeah, right. And you're like, oh, like, what kind of accent is that?
Yeah.
I'm like, how long you been here? I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can be your friend.
Yeah.
Not because I don't like you and I'm a snob, but just I don't want you to break my heart later. I'm sure you're awesome, but I don't want to know how awesome you are and then have you leave.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
That's the reality of ski towns.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you're young too, I guess, figuring out everything kind of changes.
Yeah.
You know, things change.
Definitely.
So yeah, you're in the house with Janelle and a bunch of other folks. And then obviously, you know, hey, you're cool. Yeah, you're cool. Let's go skiing. Did you just start skiing together right away?
Pretty much like straight away.
And you guys were like, oh, we're best friends now.
Yeah, like the whole house, like the best house ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just went from like being like, I didn't think that my living situation in the trailer was actually that bad. It was just like, yeah,
you have nothing to compare it to.
It just so good. Like after that, it's just like, yeah, with really good homies. Just like, yeah, it was the best.
A big core group, like a support group, good, you know, core friends,
yeah.
that sort of thing. And then, so when did you end up meeting Emily? Did she already know Emily, or when did you guys meet Emily?
I met Emily when I was living in the trailer.
Oh, really?
Because Emily, actually, she lived like a block over in her little car and on a friend's couch.
So in the trailer park?
Like right next to the trailer park.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But Emily's living situation was not much better than
It wasn't that much better. No. Did she end up moving into that house?
We all moved in the following year to that house.
Right. Yeah. So you all like joined forces.
Yeah, it kind of just went like this, and then we're just like, ooh.
How did you end up meeting Emily then? Just like walking in and out of the trailer park, or like on the hill?
No, I think we have a really good common friend that introduced us, and she was just like you guys would like be best friends.
Right.
Yeah. And I remember meeting Emily and I was kind of intimidated by her because Emily's pretty fucking cool. I was just like, ooh. And she, at that point, she'd cut her hair super short. I think her hair was like this long and it was purple.
Emily?
Yeah.
Really?
No, it's so sick. Like Emily, and she was just like Emily vibe, just like
rocking out to Savage Garden.
just like, yeah, just fucking, oh. Yeah, it was, she's so sick. Emily is so cool. She was cool back then and she's still so super cool now. But yeah, we're just like hanging out and like right off the bat, just like, yeah, this chick is awesome. I remember we were actually doing some competitions together too, like qualifiers.
Oh yeah, like the 2-star, 3-star, 4-stars kind of thing.
Yeah, and we would be hitting the same line and both getting the sick bird award.
Oh shit! On purpose or just that just happened that way?
That just happened. Yeah.
You're like, oh, you keep doing this. Like,
yeah, but it was on like every line. We've always kind of skied the same thing, but it's so funny because like one of them, like I ski something, and then I like hot tub or something, and then Emily's like, oh. Well, I got it. I'm gonna freaking do it. And then Emily skis in, and I'm just like dropping a ski, and we're both just like falling down the whole mountain. It's just just same vibes.
The same
energy.
vision for like riding. So like when you guys are out filming, are you guys looking at the same lines? And
no, it kind of progressed.
Oh yeah, how so?
I think when we were in the competitions, it was just like the face isn't that big.
Right, you're limited to choice.
You're very limited to choice, and we will always be looking at the flattest, biggest cliff. That wouldn't make any sense. Or something that we could just destroy ourselves on.
And then laugh your ass off about it.
And then be like, that was funny. We didn't nail that. Or that was awesome. You nailed it.
So when you are out shooting and stuff now, and you're in a zone that's maybe a little bigger, but maybe there's still limited options for 3 riders, right? Are you two see the same? Like, do all 3 of you see the hill slightly different? Yeah. Or you're like, I'm hitting this, I'm gonna hit this, and I'm gonna hit that. Is there often a time where you have to like Rochambeau for
sometimes we Rochambeau, but usually it's like we get to a zone and there's like just something sticks out, something different sticks out to each person, which is actually so cool.
And are you at a place now where like you'll be in a zone and you'll see a line or a feature or a spot and you'll say, oh, that would be cool for Emily to ski, or that'd be, or like Janelle, I think this suits you. You got to hit this.
Absolutely.
Right.
Like it kind of just makes sense. Like you're looking at it like that looks like a Janelle hit for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
And then and then obviously it's done in reverse too. Like, hey Tonje, I think that's you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Janelle has been like, sometimes I'm just like, I think this is what I want to ski. And she's like, that is a Tonje line. Like, you need to go ski that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Awesome. So you're in Revy, and the 3 of you are now living in a house together.
Yeah.
Who came up with like? I know Janelle kind of wanted like a crew.
Yeah. To
build a crew together.
Yeah.
So were you guys just sitting around the couch one day, or like partying one night, like after the bar at like 2 a.m, dancing on the coffee table, and being like, you know what we should do? We should start a fucking crew. Is that exactly how it happened?
Pretty much. Like that was all. Like Janelle has always wanted to start a ski crew, and I think that also just happened super naturally because we were all just like very similar spots in our life. Right. Like just super stoked to just ski as much as possible.
Same stage of life, about the same age, same vibe.
Yeah, it just like made so much sense, and we just had so much fun skiing together. So I think. Right then and there, Janelle was just like, this makes sense. And then we're all just like, that makes so much sense. Like that, let's do it.
And then, yeah, like I said, while you're someone standing on a coffee table.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cranking the sound up.
Yeah.
And then, so how did it go from there? Like, I'm going to ask them these questions because I want to hear kind of their points of view on some of that as well. But like, were you just riding every day? Like, who came up with it? Obviously, the name Blondes is kind of a given. It's easy, but how did that come about?
Oh yeah, so actually, it all happened like we were just really excited about drinking beer too. Right. So, like maybe we should get a beer sponsor. Right. And then there was a beer called the Caribou Blondes.
Right. And Caribou, the green with the
The other and then we're like, we should name ourselves that. So in the start, we were the Caribou Blondes.
Right.
Yeah, and then we got some beers and stuff, and then we cut the Caribou out when they wouldn't give us any more beer, and then just the ball just kept rolling.
Yeah, so that was like your first like partner sponsor kind of thing.
Yeah.
Had you set up? Did Janelle or anybody set up like a media kit or like an email for you guys?
I think Janelle and I set up an email.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're just like, how did the beer thing come about? You just asked them and they're like, okay.
Yeah. we sent them an email. We're like, we are a ski crew and we're gonna make some edits and we love drinking beer. And they sent us some beer.
That's simple, hey?
But we were living in the party house.
Yeah.
So it's like we got like 3 flats and it was all gone in like 2 days.
Right.
And we're like, can we have more? They're like, no. We're like, oh, damn it.
Really? That's all you got?
Yeah.
Because you guys were the Caribou Blondes for, it seemed like a couple years.
We were for probably, definitely like a whole season.
And you only got like 3 flats out of it?
Yeah, we didn't get that much.
That's a good ROI from Caribou for sure. Because like you went into, so all right, so you guys are skiing around, and then who got a camera first? When were you like,
we bought a camera together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like, let's get a camera and start filming.
Yeah.
So was that first year the year that you ended up in the intersection here in Whistler?
Yeah.
Because that was fun.
Yeah.
Was that the one where you guys were all riding the same sled? Or was that the second one that you guys did?
That was the second one. Yeah.
Right.
The first one, it was these episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And we... no, wait, this was the second year. Yeah, that we were in the intersection.
Right.
The first year we were just roaming around, filming.
Figuring out how to use a camera, figuring out how to ski lines, figuring it out.
Figuring it out. Because like the intersection thing was actually Alex Armstrong.
Right.
She was like, Tonje, there's this competition. We should do it. I'm like, yes, let's do it.
Because you knew Alex from Revy too.
Yeah.
When she lived out there.
Yeah.
When she moved out to Whistler, because she moved out before all of you guys, I think.
I think we moved at the same time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I always like to find out those, like we talk about this a bunch, is like a lot of people from like the Kootenays or from the interior, Whistler. It's like, Whistler, you don't need to go to Whistler. They shit talk Whistler just because it's like the big city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The big city of the ski towns. It's like the Hollywood of like Canada ski land. But this is where everything happens. Yeah. Right? Were you happy that you moved out here, or do you miss Revy?
Oh no, I love it. I love living in Squamish. Mm-hmm. It's great. I think it was just kind of after the intersection trip, where you just saw the terrain that you can access with a snowmobile, and we're like, this is it.
Yeah, right. You're like, look at all these clubs and all these people and like
carfs. Yeah.
See, you guys aren't. I don't think of you guys as like nightclub partiers, but obviously you do. But you're more like house partiers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we definitely didn't come out here for garfs, but no, it was. I never really looked back. We're all like super stoked on it, and Revelstoke is amazing. Revelstoke is so cool for like pillows. And like tree skiing, it's insane. Mm-hmm. But like Whistler for like alpine, it was kind of just like the next step.
Right. There's just so much here. I've said this 100 times too. It's like whenever I go anywhere else, with the exception of like Revy and maybe Kicking Horse and maybe like Jackson or a couple other spots. Yeah. Anytime I go anywhere, I'm like almost a little underwhelmed because I think I'm so spoiled from being here. Yeah. It's like, you got Blackcomb, for instance. You got, Seventh Heaven, and you got the Couloir, and you got Spanky Zone, and you get to go up the Glacier, DOA, and like Crystal Zone. Like there's so many zones, and it's so amazing. And that's just one mountain, and there's another one right next to it. Yeah. So it's like this like super amazing place that you can come to, and you're just like, oh, it's just next level. Yeah. It's really just next level. But I love skiing in those other spots too, because they're also good. It's just so much bigger here.
It's big, yeah.
5X'd.
Yeah. It's like, some of the stuff you can access with the snowmobile too. It's like mini AK.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. So you moved to Whistler and, things are rolling. You're starting to pick up some sponsors and things so one of the things that I know is now you're with Arc'teryx. Yeah. You're with, North Face for a bunch of years as a crew, Atomic, all on Smith. You got the pro model goggles and everything like that. And now you guys are at a stage where it isn't really sustainable, maybe for depending on whose point of view you're looking at it, but it's also maybe not a smart business choice.
Yeah.
Because you're all becoming so big on your own. Like you're like, that's why I said, like, I want to have you all independently on the Low Pressure Podcast. That just shows how big you all are individually.
We're growing.
Yeah. But like, you know, and for you to be on one company, that's a lot of money to put into 3 riders doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys weren't getting what you probably could have individually from some of those sponsors.
Yeah.
Am I right? Am I wrong?
I'd probably say that you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, like they've been supporting us, like, and we're so great. I'm so grateful for the support that we've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
But we're definitely like 3 girls, and we're kind of like the same,
Mm-hmm.
even though we're different.
Right.
Yeah, it's like we hit the same segmentation group. So
Yeah, exactly.
from
Right.
a marketing standpoint, it's like, yeah.
So, and it worked out brilliantly. Like if I was Atomic or Smith or North Face, taking advantage of this crew that hadn't really been done before. You guys are creating this new thing within skiing, these 3 unique but similar, like, amazing skiers with like the best attitudes, who come out with like really fun, that just emit fun and good times. Right. I'm jumping all over this. But now that you guys have established yourselves for, I guess, like 5-6 years now of like being pro skiers, you know, you have the opportunity to maybe make a little bit more individually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong too, but I've heard that in those early days, if like I've heard potentially sponsors may have come and chatted to you or to the other girls, and you guys were like, yeah, no, we're a package.
Yeah.
That's true?
It was true. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was actually like even with like Arc'teryx, like I was talking to Arc'teryx probably like 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at that point it just didn't make any sense because we were a crew. We weren't gonna get split up. We were just starting to film with MSP and stuff too. So it's just like, no, like we're rolling with this.
This is it. Like we're all for one, all for one.
So
one
we were giving the 3 for 1 for like a while.
Right.
But
you guys were giving the discount?
Yeah, we were giving the discount.
Oh, that's very cool.
But I think honestly, I think it was a really good way to do it, and I wouldn't have done it differently at all.
No.
Yeah.
Look what you guys accomplished.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So for those people that see that you're now with like Arc'teryx, and as you guys aren't all the three of you aren't filming all in the exact same segments anymore. You're not all in the exact same places. You're not all in the exact same segments. You're all doing kind of your own thing a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So what do you say to people that are like, oh, the blondes are breaking up, this is it, they're done?
We're not broken up. We're really not broken up. No, I think we're just like at this point where we've gotten so much out of being a crew, and we've like pushed each other to like extents that we never could have gotten haven't we done it together. But it's also really, really fun to see, for example, Emily go on a trip and crush it, and like maybe learn from some different people. Right. Like even just like skiing with like Mark Abma, you're just like, this, he has so much knowledge. Like you can get so much information from him that she couldn't have got with like Janelle or myself. Right. And it's just like really cool. I feel like Janelle going to like Europe this year, and it's just like so cool to see just like the progression in like a different way. And just like cool, just like getting to know seeing Emily and Janelle like a little bit like independently doing their thing.
That's really cool. And then
but we're not broken up.
No, of course not.
Yes,
right.
We're and staying together.
And then this is just a natural progression of things, right? Like this is an evolution, right? You wouldn't have been able to expect you guys to be the 3 of you doing the same thing all the time.
Exactly.
Anyways, like this is just normal.
It's normal. It's just like it just makes sense. And like the thing, like we're gonna keep doing stuff together, but it's gonna keep doing stuff independently too.
And then that's gonna be exciting too, because you're like, oh, we're getting a blondes edit, or we're getting like some kind of blondes clip or a blondes trip. Or,
exactly.
You know, and it'll probably mean that much more to you guys too, because you're like, we're back. Because I'm sure over the years, like you can rub each other the wrong way. It's like you're like sisters.
We are full on sisters,
right? Yeah. So there's gonna be those times when you're like, Jesus Christ, Tonje,
you're pissing me off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I think that's why what we have is just so awesome, and I just think it's so cool that I just love watching them and like seeing them crush it, it feels like a sister kind of relationship.
Yeah,
I'm just,
you got this like
cheering
sense
them
of
on.
pride for them, right?
Yeah.
You're proud of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fully.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So we've got the blondes thing, and you talked about Arc'teryx. So did that came around just recently?
Yeah.
And then was there, were they like, you said they approached you like years ago?
Yeah. So we talked like 4 years ago, and then we were kind of just came to the conclusion that, okay, maybe not now, but maybe in the future.
Oh yeah. So just remember to keep my number in your phone kind of thing.
Don't forget me yet. But yeah. And then, you know, like the ski industry is just like everything is just happening. So you never know if it's going to happen or not. But
Right.
It just like everything else, if it's supposed to happen, it happens, and it did.
So was like your North Face contract up, and then you just called them, or was it a thing like you realized, hey, all three of us can't be on this, or like I have an opportunity over here?
No, we were kind of. It was interesting. I think like at the end of this year, we're just like we're at this point right now, but maybe it would be beneficial for us to have different sponsors, and we talked about that maybe like a year ago, but yeah. And then it just kind of happened.
Because you can probably get a little bit more for yourself out of it too, right?
Yeah.
Without really like, you know, I'm not turning my back on you guys, but like I got this opportunity, and then this frees up a bit more space for you on this side, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So just, they reached back out and they were still interested. And then lots of back and forth and not really knowing what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden it just happens. And then, I'm on Arc'teryx.
Exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Have you spent a lot of time down in, because you spent a lot of this year in Norway. Have you been down to the head office in North End quite a bit?
Yeah. And I think it's so cool. Like just being so close to like their like HQ, getting to hang out with all the people that are on the business side too. Mm-hmm. It's super special.
And there's a lot of Arc'teryx riders that have like decided to spend the season in like the Sea to Sky this year.
A lot, yeah.
Like Cole's been out here a lot.
Yeah.
Craig Murray is out here as well. You know, you're living here. Like there's Tom. There's like the Stinius.
Yeah.
Who's just on the show recently. Another Norwegian.
Yeah.
Who interestingly enough, his story was he just let things happen, and that's how his life developed as well. Actually,
it's just the Norwegian
Did you listen to that
thing.
episode?
No,
yeah,
not yet.
It's funny because you were saying that earlier, and I'm like, that sounds exactly like Stinny. Maybe it's just like the Norwegian way of life, where you're just like, oh, I guess I'm doing this now.
Or maybe we're just the outskirts, the scum of the Norwegian,
or just like the ski culture, like the underground counterculture.
Yeah,
of Norway.
definitely. Just going with the flow.
So you spent like most of the winter in Norway this year.
Yeah, I was there because we went on the best trip ever, Janelle, Emily, and I.
Which looked
and
awesome.
And CK9.
I watched it again before you came over.
It was insane. Like we talked about going to Norway from like, I think the first year we met. Mm-hmm. And it's like just a dream of ours to go there together. Like I want to show them Norway so bad.
Yeah, bring them back to your home.
Yeah, and just like... And then it happened. It was just like insane. And we got hooked up with the 62 North, which is like a super fancy. Like, I don't know if we were just cruising around in Porsches and like living at this like, and like 4-star hotels and eating 4-course dinners and stuff.
Really? And you just supply them with footage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we all got to experience that, and it was like the best trip ever. Like we were all just like on cloud 9.
You're like, this isn't the Norway I know.
I was like, this is not it, you guys. Like if you come visit me in Kristiansand or whatever, do not expect us to be ripping around in Porsches and eating this good of a food. But yeah. And then we were there, and I just stayed until the winter. So I was in Norway for a long time, which was really nice.
Right. And then because you're going to school.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're doing your master's program.
Yeah.
And like all the years that I've known you, every once in a while I'll pop into like your place down in Squamish or something, and it's just like you got books
all over the place,
books and numbers, and like just doing schoolwork. So like this whole time that you've been a blonde and traveling the world and shredding pow and like creating this life for yourself, you've been going to school the whole time, like full-time university.
Yeah.
What are you taking?
So I took business for my bachelors, and then now I'm actually studying industrial innovation and cybersecurity.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, so I'm doing my master's in that, which is honestly, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's definitely not. When I tell people that, they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Just happened, and I'm stoked on it." So
Like cybersecurity, like don't take pictures of your kids and put them online, or like
just like,
or
how,
like make sure you don't make sure you're like have a you know, like when you're on someone else's Wi-Fi, don't be looking at porn or anything like that. Like
that, but also it's more it's more like just securing big businesses and making sure that their like information and like stuff is protected.
Now, did you choose that because it's interesting to you, or did you choose that because like there's probably a lot of work?
There's definitely going to be a lot of work in it because like people are getting hacked all the time. Like it's insane.
Right.
Yeah. Like VF got hacked like a month ago.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that why you went to Arc'teryx? You're like, your guys' organization isn't secure.
Your cybersecurity team is not doing its job. No, but I just in my bachelor's degree, we had some courses that were like IT and like programming and stuff like that.
You just enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it.
Very cool.
And then they had this master's program where you dive deeper into that aspect of it.
Now, do you want to like start working like career stuff, or do you want to keep the ski thing going on?
I'm keeping the ski thing going on for
and then see what you can do like on the side. Like I bet you could like get a job and then hire a bunch of virtual assistants to do all the work for you.
Maybe, yeah. I think I'm kind of same with this thing. I'm just kind of going with the flow a little bit.
I bet what's going to happen is you're going to get your master's degree, and then there's going to be some company that like is connected to skiing somehow, and they're going to be like, "Hey, we want to sponsor you," and you're like, "Oh, actually, you do this too?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, we need your help." And then you'll be like, "Oh, this is interesting, but I don't want to mix skiing and work." And then some other company that a lot of money will be like, "Oh, we'll give you this and you can ski." And you'll be like, "Yeah, this is great." And then like 4 years when we have this other conversation, it's just going to be the Norwegian way, just flowing. It's like a stream of it's like a stream of like not luck, but happenstance. You're like, "Oh, looks like I'm going to be doing this now. I enjoy it."
Yeah, but it's honestly my favorite way of living like that. Just kind of going with what feels right. Like some of the most amazing things in my life has happened when I do that. Like Canada,
right?
Or like anything.
It's like I always say, expectations. You can never meet in expectations.
No.
Right? The best days, the best parties, the best nights, the best experiences, when you just roll in, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't think you're going to do something. You're just like, oh, like how often the best times when you've been around and then just someone shows up and someone else shows up and you're like, oh, you guys want to go do this? And you're like, okay, let's go do it.
Seriously.
And you're just going with the flow, and it's the best day or the best night ever or the best day on the hill ever.
Fully.
Because there's zero expectations. But when you're like expecting things to happen.
Yeah.
Rarely are expectations met, because how can you possibly know what's going to happen?
Yeah, fully. Yeah, there's something really beautiful about like not trying to predict the future and just kind of going with what feels right. And not having expectations.
The Norwegian way. I'm going to start calling it the Norwegian way. I'm going to start living my life. So.
It's so good. Sometimes you have to remind yourself that, no, this is...
So how much more... Was it a 2 years master program? 1 year's master's program?
2 year.
And then you are a year in already, or...
Yeah, soon. I'm writing some reports, finishing up some courses at the end of this week, and then I have another year. So
what made you want to keep doing school? Do you just really enjoy it? And are you like striving to just have this certification or this achievement? Because you're in a position as a skier where you don't really need to do it. No. I think I love learning. I've always really liked learning. Just like if it's from people or if it's from school, it's just an easy way to learn. Yeah. I just I just really like learning. That's awesome. And then I think I don't necessarily have to, but the reality of skiing is that like it's not the most sustainable career that you can do. True. And I'd want to keep doing it for as long as makes me really happy, and for as long as I can like push and like be stoked on what I'm doing. Right. But I do not want to be like clenching onto something that's like drifting away. Right. Yeah. Interesting. So this is your backup plan. Yeah, cybersecurity backup plan. You're thinking long term. But yeah, it just makes sense. Like I've always, it just makes sense and just kind of happened. Well, that's great. Well, I guess going to school and then picking your master's up this year, is kind of like a silver lining, because a lot of people don't know that you've been injured this year.
I have, yeah.
You said you're not really comfortable with saying exactly what happened, but it's a pretty common ski injury, we'll just say.
Yeah.
And you've kept it pretty low key. You even told me that when you originally hurt yourself, a couple like Norwegian like news outlets, I guess, were like trying to get the info from you.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it was like a couple days after it happened, and they're like, "We want to write a story about this." I'm like, "No." I think it's just like injuries are they feel like you feel very vulnerable when you go through it, and I've never had like a bigger injury before.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just kind of been protecting myself a little bit from it and just focusing on keeping my head in a good space to just recover and heal as fast as I can.
Yeah.
And the recovery has been going so well.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the best hands ever. So.
And you're because it was back in the early part of the winter, correct?
Yeah.
Like November or something like
yeah.
that? Yeah. So November, and we're like 4 or 5 months in, and
yeah.
you've just had all this time to sit and study.
Yeah, I'm becoming such a nerd. And I kind of, as this was happening too, I was like, damn it, I'm going to be such a nerd now. Studying security management metrics. Woo! Yeah.
It used to be awesome at cocktail parties.
This is just turning into noob.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you took that time, obviously you were already in school. So like I said, silver lining that wasn't really, you just kind of, you're just taking it as you go, and you're like, all right, I guess I hurt myself, so I'm going to sit and double down on school and just kind of focus and, think about what I got to do and try and heal and that sort of stuff. And
yeah, it's pretty much just been my life. It's been just like sitting on the bike and like watching lectures and then going to the gym.
Do you have do you sit on the bike and like have a screen, or do you have like a table?
I have an iPad.
I don't know if you know, Hoji had built, when he blew his knee years ago, he built like a desk onto a bike, like a stationary bike. Yeah. I always think about that, but it's a Hoji thing,
That's pretty sick.
But now you're teammates with him, so you can call him up and be like, hey, what are you doing with this? Like,
no, but it's working
exercise
out.
desk.
It's working out pretty well, the system I got going. But yeah, it's been like kind of interesting to just, I feel like my life has gone by super fast. Like the last 8 years, it's just been going by so quickly. And now I was just forced to kind of like take a step back and just like slow things down.
Right.
And I think there's something about injuries that I think can be pretty cool, but you can't see them when it's happening.
Right. Exactly, because they're gonna
they happen later.
There's a ripple effect, right? Yeah. Everything that happens every action has reactions.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can sit and be bitter about it and woe is me and get shitty, or you can focus on getting strong, or you can take your time and invest it into yourself. Yeah. Like finishing school or any of those sorts of things, right? Yeah. And it's interesting because I don't think really you haven't really got much attention about it. Like I didn't know for a couple months, obviously, but like,
a lot of people don't.
But that's
know.
Great, I guess, right? But then I wonder if you had announced like, hey, I hurt myself, I'm out for the season, you would have had the outlets call and ask you questions. I would have called you and been like, hey, how you doing? Yeah. If you want to do a podcast, I'm here for it. But I'm like, can you do one? Like, that's kind of like how I like to. I always feel bad because I don't want to be like the ambulance chaser. Yeah. Right. But I also do want to get info. Right. So when we chatted a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, if you want to talk about it, like, let me know. Yeah. I'm 100%. But when you're ready. But I wonder if like if you had announced it, you would have had the TGRs and the ski mags and all of like the ski like media. The core ski media would have 100% reached out and we want to do interviews and we want to do all this stuff, but it would have been over pretty quick. Yeah. It would have been this little blast of like, oh great, we've got this content because this well-known skier, Tonje from the Blonde, she's out. Yeah. Right. You would have got it right away, but then it would have kind of faded. And then everyone would have been like, oh yeah, Tonje's out, but we'll see when she gets back. Right. And then it probably would have faded to kind of what it is now, where it's not that big a thing. Yeah. But whereas you now being like you telling me here hasn't really been announced publicly. You said you just don't really care. You don't really want that energy out there. some people may pick it up, but do you think it's better this way? Have you thought about if you had announced it then versus now, or are you just like, I'm going with the flow? Do you understand? This is a long-winded way of trying to get a question out.
I feel like I was just like kind of just waiting for it to feel right to talk about.
Right. Because you needed to feel right about it?
Yeah, I just didn't. And I don't know, I feel like it was also kind of funny, just like social media is so funny because if I didn't say anything, like no one would know.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty cool and kind of scary at the same time because
Right.
it's just like you can just be like no one, people know when you're posting, but they don't pay attention when you're not posting.
Right.
So it's just like,
has it been a nice quiet little break?
it has been a really, really nice break, just to like kind of step away from it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've just kind of enjoyed it, and I think, and I will talk about it more, but I think the whole thing about like people reaching out so early after it happened, I just didn't want that.
Didn't seem great. Didn't seem right.
It
right?
just felt very unhuman.
They were trying to capitalize off of your pain and your
and I was in a lot of pain at that point too.
Right.
So it was just like, there was not even like, hey, how you doing? It was just like, hey, like,
can we write the story about you?
Write a story.
It wasn't like, hey, how are you doing?
No.
Or are you going to be all right?
No, it was yeah. So after that, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to like leave this for a little bit and just focus on myself.
I think that's good because, like Cole hurt himself in Japan and in the head film. He's like, they briefly touched on it. And he's like, hey, I hurt myself, but I'll talk about this another time.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Because really, it's just, you're a person and you've got to deal with this yourself. And it's like one of the hardest things you'll ever have to do is heal from an injury, whether it's a broken hand or a broken back or a shattered leg or whatever it is, right? And I'm saying all of these things because I don't want anybody to know what it is.
Yeah. There's a lot of things it could be.
Yeah, right. Leg lengthening surgery, whatever it is.
It's true. People do that for fun.
Yeah, right. She got glute implants. She got butt implants.
I got the PBL.
What's the PBL?
BBL.
What's that?
The big butt.
Oh, the big yeah. That's what it is.
Actually, I don't because you can see it.
Yeah, because she got that. Her injury wasn't really injury; it was glute implants. She wanted a bigger booty for stomping cliffs.
It's just all bullshit. Don't believe anything you hear.
Yeah, well, that's interesting, and I like how you did that, and
I wanted to do it my way too. I feel like there's no right way of doing it, and honestly, it was up to me. I would just be doing like the skateboard freaking way of doing it. It's just like ghost, come back, drop apart, and then just don't even think about it.
Right.
But I realized that like injury is such a big part of the sport. And I do want to talk about it more, just to be like kind of open about it, because there is something really nice, like knowing that you're not going through it alone.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, if I can help anyone.
And that's another thing too, is like you would have gotten a ton of positivity.
I would have, yeah,
from a lot of people, and you will probably now once this comes out. Being like, hey, I hope you're doing all right. But I guess it's almost nicer on your own terms when you're ready for that attention and you're ready for that energy, right? Because if you're not in the right headspace with the healing, or because it's overwhelming or it hurts, or because I've also got my school to do and I've got family and this is one more thing that I don't have the energy, or I choose not to put the energy in. Yeah. Right? Like you said, like taking a break from social media is great. Like I don't have to people don't have to keep asking me, hey, how are you doing? What's the update? How is this? And what's going on? I don't have to keep telling people if they don't know, so I can just be myself. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
So how is it? No, I was kidding. So anyways, you're going to be back on skis this year or probably next year?
We'll see. I'm kind of just like going off what the experts are saying.
Right on. And then you have a full rehab program doing all the stuff you need to do.
Everything. Yeah. I'm just very, very good with the rehab.
You're good with it now. Yeah. Perfect. All right, we can leave it.
Yeah, we can leave it. No, but like I mean more like I'm good. Like I Not that I don't want to talk about it anymore. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm doing rehab.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Okay.
No, I got that. Like you're doing well. You're doing really, really well.
Yeah.
I knew that's what you meant. But
Okay. Just want to clarify. I'm good. Stop talking about it.
yeah. But I know, but I said I didn't want to like beat it to death, right? Because you made that choice to be like, hey, I'm going to keep this as a private thing.
Yeah.
Or it's almost like in hockey, right? Like they have, like hockey players will go out and they'll be like, it's an upper body injury or it's a lower body injury. And there's like very few specifics because it's about you. It's not about people listening and reading and like you have fans that would be interested to know that. They don't need to know that. Like you don't owe them that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, like just because you're a pro skier, you're paid to ski. And in the last few years, people that, have these contracts, are paid to like present themselves and present the brands that they work for. But you don't owe like an injury report to, like, obviously they know.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, obvious. Yeah.
But
sure.
but you don't need that. You don't need to give that to people that are fans of yours. Like that's not knowledge that they deserve.
No.
Right? Like I find a lot of people sporting celebrities or sports stars or all these people, it's like, well, their lives they're always sharing what's going on in their lives. Like those tabloid magazines, like, oh, they're just like us. He buys a coffee and leaves it on the roof of his car or anything stupid like that. Or like, oh, maybe this person just got married or they had a kid. And like I heard a story about these celebrities having kids the other day. I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
Why would you even need to tell anybody, right? They don't need to tell anybody.
Yeah.
So the fact that you had the thought where you're like, I don't need to share this. This is for me.
Yeah.
And you don't owe that to anybody. And if anybody's like, well, why didn't you tell us? I'm like, well, it's not your business.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the whole thing with, I think people get lost within social media is it's almost like you expect something.
Yeah. But I feel like that's where it becomes dangerous too. Like if you just like, I don't know, like just sharing everything on social media. I feel like that would just be...
Yeah, you're giving away too much of yourself.
You're giving away everything.
Yeah.
Like what? I don't know. I'm trying to get better at being like a little bit more personal on social media, but this would be a very big step to just be like...
Yeah.
I'm super vulnerable right now. Take it all.
Yeah, and some people are able to do that, but some aren't, and whatever works for you. So like kudos to you for knowing what's right for yourself.
And honestly, like obviously like you get so much like when people post like injury stuff, like people are so kind as well, like just sending you so much love and support. But I did get a lot of support through like my friends and family and the close ones. Mm-hmm. And
the people that matter, the people that you interact with, like
the people
in your
that
real
send
life,
you messages and not just DMs.
Yeah. Did you get any? Like, be funny. You get a DM. You're like, "Yo, what's up, girl?" and then like a year and a half later, "Oh, I heard you hurt your leg. I'm sorry." And you're like, "You creeper." Do you get DMs, like creepy DMs from dudes?
No, I'm pretty good.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't post. That's the thing. I'm not very personable on social media. Like you can't really
out of sight, out of mind, I guess.
You're kind of, but like it's just like I think there's like now after I did get hacked once and I didn't have a picture of my face on social media,
right.
And it was hardest to get back.
Really? Because
they didn't believe that it was me because I didn't have any face pictures.
Oh, you gotta go.
So have some face pictures on your Instagram. But yeah, now I have some face pictures, but they're not like there's not like a whole lot of.
Yeah. You're just more reserved. You're like, I like that you're comfortable with yourself. You're comfortable with what you're able to share. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Until you come here and then I pick you apart. All right. So what's next? You got classes and exams and stuff coming up here in the next little bit, and then continuing to work hard throughout the summer and get strong. And
yeah, I'm just gonna focus on getting strong. I have some reports that I have to submit at the end of the week, and I'm just really excited to come up with some creative stuff for Arc'teryx and go to HQ a lot, like work with the people there, get inspired. Yeah, they do so many cool things. I don't know if you saw the vest.
The thing. Vest.
Yeah.
No, what's the vest?
Jared and Nicole, they collaborated on this like.
Oh yeah, Nicole. What's her last name? She does all the crazy like all the different crazy like she takes like an article of clothing and she makes it into something else.
Yeah.
What's her last name?
Nicole McLaughlin and Jared. Big Hair Jared.
Big Hair Jared.
Yeah.
And it's like so they build they create like random things and turn them into like or pieces of clothing, and they repurpose them into like something else.
Yeah, it's just like a really cool creative idea where it's kind of like taking skiing and then turning it into kind of an art piece, because it was this like backcountry vest with all these cool features, and it had like a backpack on the back that turned into kind of a purse.
Oh, really?
Like, it's so sick. I just think there's great opportunities
to just like be creative.
Just be creative and like.
And Arc'teryx is really doing a great job with that, because they did that continuum film with all the girls with the tent made out of all different pieces of like jackets and stuff.
Yeah. So cool. Interesting.
So and I guess that's neat, because they also have like a lot of films like that Stinius was on. We were talking about the Lexicon film where they all went to Japan and they realized none of them were from the same place and they all spoke different languages, but there was like, the central theme of skiing kind of brought them all together. And they had that film Slides Down the Mountain, I think, or I can't remember the exact name, but of the teens, the native teens. First Nation teens from up. So good. That's right. I sat beside you as we watched that.
I was crying.
And then Spencer's movie with like filmed with the Phantom camera, and you and I looked at each other and like, oh my god,
just goosebumps the entire.
Yeah. So I guess there's that opportunity to jump in on that with Arc'teryx as well, to kind of tap in. And are you a creative person, or are you more like a book nerd, like a math bookworm nerd?
I'm trying to figure that out. I do really like math, and I like things that are like that, but I do also really enjoy being creative, but I just need to be in the right space. Right. And stuff like the Nicole Jared thing, like that really excites me. Like that makes me
neat. Yeah. So then you can maybe work with them and find that thing. Obviously you're creative when you're skiing. Yeah. But maybe there's that other little zone that you'll be able to unlock something. You unlock another something because you just kind of ended up there.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, they're like the fashion, like the way, like their jackets, like everything. I think it's so cool. Just like, there's so much to do that's you can do outside of skiing, and you can bring it into skiing.
Exciting. Yeah. Right on. And then as for the blondes, what's going on with blondes right now?
We're like thinking about like we're gonna pitching some projects, or like not big projects like we did before, but like maybe some trips. Yeah, something fun. Because going on trips with them is just like the best thing.
Yeah, because like your best friends. Yeah, I love it when you guys are around, because it's just absurd. It's absurd. It's absurd, and it's always fun. Yeah, and it's ridiculous, and it's just good energy to be around. So that's cool, and I love that you guys are getting to this stage where you can branch out, do your own thing, but then still line up. This is our blondes trips. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Awesome. Well, anything else to say?
I think that's it.
All right. Thanks, Tonje.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks, Cedar.
You've been listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers. This has been a Redmark Media production.